In the Dysart Unified School District, we believe that all students can and will learn. We reviewed literature on grading practices, including the research by Rick Wormelli, Jeffrey Erickson, Douglas Fisher, Nancy Frey, and Ian Pumpian. The grading guidelines outlined here are based off this research and best practices. On the basis of our belief that grades should show what a student knows and is able to do, we developed the guidelines for consistently and objectively reporting student academic achievement. The grading guidelines take into account the learning process. Children learn new skills by practice and new content by actively processing the concepts. The teacher will provide encouragement and feedback to the students in order to improve their results. They will then measure what the students know and can do with assessments. The 7th through 12th grade guidelines include the following. Assessments account for 80% of a student's grade. Projects could be included and account for up to 20% of a student's grade. Final exams account for not more than 10% of a student's grade. Classroom and homework accounts for not more than 10% of a student's grade. The guidelines also include the retake policy and incentives for high school students taking advanced placement, international baccalaureate, or Cambridge exams. The grading guidelines broadly define each category within a course grade. The gradebook program has been modified to reflect this weighting. Assessments are utilized to measure a student's mastery of course content. Assessments are 80% of the student's grade. Retakes of assessments are permitted. Examples of assessments include unit tests, performance exams, quizzes, labs, and other projects. Projects give students the opportunity to practice skills that are complex and integrated. Projects may require several days or weeks of student work. Many times, this is an authentic product reflecting the student's learning. Within the project, several grades may be required to reflect the essential components of the process. Projects may account for up to 20% of a student's final grade within this category. Each course will have a final exam worth 10% of a student's course grade. The final exam is intended to measure the student's mastery of all the essential content and skills for the semester. The learning process includes giving students the opportunity to practice newly learned skills without the pressure to perform at mastery level. Student practice includes classwork and homework. Homework is independent practice after the skill has been taught in the classroom. Classwork and homework will account for 10% of a student's grade. Students will be given the opportunity to retake assessments. The best preparation for the world beyond school is to learn essential content and skills well. We hold students accountable for essential content when we permit retakes on assessments. Students will continue to practice and learn until they can show mastery. The following guidelines are provided for retakes. Retakes should be given in a timely manner to facilitate the continuity of student learning. Retakes must be taken no later than the midpoint of the quarter, approximately 4 weeks, and no later than the end of the quarter. In order to retake, the student is required to provide evidence of further practice, which can be substantiated by either the teacher, tutor, or parent sign-off. In order to retake, at least 80% of the homework and classwork assigned leading up to the assignment or assessment must be completed. The grade reflected in the gradebook is the best grade from all the retake attempts. Incentives are provided to high school students to take advanced placement, international baccalaureate, or Cambridge exams. If a student participates in one of these exams, the student is not required to take the course final. Scoring at a certain level per exam will improve the student's course grade. see the high school course selection guide at dysart.org/HS guide for further details. An important component for the grading system is communication to parents concerning academic progress of students, both as a monitoring measure throughout the school year, as well as a final report card. Grades are updated weekly within our online grading system. Parents can access the parent portal and online grading system at dysart.org/parent portal. The consistent use of grading guidelines provides students with opportunities to master content and demonstrate proficiency. Parents will have current, up-to-date information about their students' academic progress. This unified focus on grading practices will support a culture of learning across the Dysart District for each student on their journey to be college and career ready.